the test case. So test case writing is a very crucial. If you are not practicing, it's not possible at all. So in the real time, that's going to be bigger task for you. The first task you will do, any company you go, test case design. So focus and try to write the test cases. Okay. So are you all clear? Okay. Yeah. So let's continue. So once these test cases are done, we need to discuss one more. Once a test case design is done, once a test case design is done, you will review, right? You will get it reviewed by some other person. Sorry. Okay. So once that is done, you got a build now. You got a build, then you will start executing the test cases. So test case execution, when it will start, you have to be very clear here. First test case design, review of the test cases. Once you get the build, then only test case execution you will start. So in the test cases designing time, you will fill the test cases only. So let me show you that. So you will fill only test cases till this point. Okay. So only you will just fill the data, right? Test case title, prerequisite to test steps, test data, expected result. Till here only you will fill while test case designing time. But test case execution time, you will read these steps and you will fill the actual result and status. There will be a status column here, result, pass or fail. Result will be pass, fail, blocked, not tested. So these statuses will be there. Those statuses you will select. So based on this expected or this actual, both are matching, pass. Both are not matching, fail. So that is what this expected and actual results. How you, so what fields you will fill during the test case design, what fields you will fill during the execution time. Execution time only you will fill these fields. You should not write to execution time, you don't have application. So actual result is application behavior. Actual result is application behavior. So that is this concept. Okay. So that's the test case related. And execution, you will execute one by one test cases. Each day you will execute a few test cases. Then number of defects you found. Screenshots of successful and failure execution should be taken in Word document. Time taken to execute. Time wasted due to unavailability of the system. All these metrics you have to give. Okay. So execution process, take the test case document, check the availability of the application, implementation of test cases. So this is all the process. Then what is a traceability matrix? That's a test case execution, test case design, a review. Then what is a traceability matrix? Traceability matrix means what? A traceability matrix means the mapping between requirements and test cases is called traceability matrix. So your mapping, so each test case belongs to which requirement? That mapping is called a traceability matrix. Requirements and test cases tracing is called traceability matrix. So how do you know whether all the requirements are met in your test case document? Through traceability matrix. Why traceability matrix is important? So because the requirements for a given function or feature have changed. Some of the fields now different ranges. Now your manager will ask, okay, how many test cases we need to modify? If you prepare the traceability matrix and map it to each requirement, then you can easily tell, okay, these many cases affected because of this. If you don't map which test case need to be modified, how do you know? That's why the mapping between the requirements and test cases is mandatory. So that automatically you can do with the test case designing itself. So that is the first point. Why do you need a traceability matrix? A set of tests that run okay in the past, but suddenly started failing now. And you know, if you have a mapping, so what functionality do these test cases are exercising exactly? So there is a traceability between the test cases and requirements, and you can find it out. That's another advantage of a traceability matrix. Another one is before delivery. So you have a release. So you're delivering your new features and requirements and implemented, you tested, you given sign off, everything done. Now ready to ship to the client. So what will happen is, so we want to know whether so these all tested properly or not. How can you ensure that? So we have the list of tests that have passed and every requirement is tested or not. You can check that. That is called this traceability matrix main advantage. That's all about test cases. Please go through. I'll give this test case document. Okay. So this test case document, register page. These are all the test cases. See the steps. Steps is a very, very important. Click on my account drop menu. Click on register option. See that. Let me show you that. This is the application I was talking. Click on my account. Click on register. See same steps here also. Enter new account details into the first name, last name, all this. See this. So here he is talking about these things. And click on continue. So the same thing is here also. So click on continue button. Next, click on continue button. That is, so success one. So then your account should be created successfully. So user should be logged in, taken to account success page, and proper details should be displayed on the page. So this is the how you will see expected result to test steps. So all you have to write properly. See, prerequisite. First, you should open the your application. Test case title. Validator registering an account by providing only mandatory fields. So provide only mandatory fields. How do you know which is a mandatory field? See that there is a star mark. That's a mandatory field. So another, provide all the input fields and then click on continue and continue. It should create your account. Then without entering any data, click on continue. Negative test case. That also must be here available. So validating registering an account by providing all the fields. So validate thank you for registering email is sent to the registered email address as confirmation for registering the account. So validate the registered account when no option is selected for newsletter field. So this newsletter field, you don't select anything, no option, this one, and try it out. One time yes option, that try it out. See, both the combinations we are testing. So that's what the test cases means. So validate different ways of navigating to register account page. How can you navigate to register account page in different ways? So like this, there are so many test cases you will write. So please go through that, and I'll change this URL. URL is this one, so that you can. This is our blog. I have to change this. Okay, so it is replaced, and we're good. So that's how you can use your, so I'll share this. See, every page, login page, logout page, forget password page, search page, product compare, product details page, add to cart page. This is all our, see, home page. This is the home page test cases. So go through these test cases. I'll share in our, our blog. So here I'll add that document. So go through that, and that will help you. Okay. So yeah, I'll add that. Okay, I'll add that. So later I will add. So any questions here before going for a defect handling? So the next one is a defect. Okay, so while execution time you got a defect. So what you will do? So where you will report that? So there are many ways you can report the defects. So you can use a defect tracking tools, Jira, ALM, and now so people are using Azure DevOps also. There also you can file the reports, Bugzilla. So like this you have many, right? So all those properties, so you can find in the defect tracking tool, and you fill the form, submit it. It will create a defect for you. So defect means what? What is a defect? So when your test case is failed, that means your expected result, actual result is not matching. So application behavior is different, customer expectation is something else. Both are not in sync. So if it is against the expected result, that is a defect. And you report the defect in a tool. So that's a defect means. What is a defect means? So there are so many defects will be there. Okay. There are usability defects will be there. So usability defect that result in user dissatisfaction. That's it. So you just dissatisfied. That's it. A defect that causes a slow response time when running reports. So this will not harm the user unless these reports are used inside a critical place, like hospital operations room. If you're using, that's a critical defect. But you're not using somewhere else, that's not a big critical defect. A defect that causes the raw sea waste to be dumped into ocean. This will harm users because polluting the ocean has a direct harm on human health. So this is the critical bug, right? Should not do that. A regression defect that causes the desktop window to display in green. So this will not harm the user, but he cannot see the, it will annoy him if he doesn't love the green color. So that's it. Then what is a latent defect? There are different type of defects: latent defect, masked defect, and defect leak is defect density, and defect is showstopper defect. So who can report the defects? We'll see one by one. Okay. So what is latent defect means? Latent defect means, so it is one of the defect, it is available in the system from a long time. It is there already, but nobody found it. So which has been there for a long time. It should have been detected earlier, but nobody detected it. That is called latent defect. So one of the reasons for this latent defect is maybe that time the conditions are not met. Maybe you don't have proper test data. So such cases you will get a latent defect. So the defect which is there in the system for a long time, but so it would have been detected earlier, but found now. That's a latent defect. So latent defect is already existing bug in the application for a quiet period of time, but that has been found just now. So that's called latent defect means. So the problem will not cause the immediately. It won't cause the damage immediately, but you have to wait for the situation when it comes. That time it will hit the application properly. So the example is February has 28 days, but the application is not considered the leap year, which results in the latent defect. You are testing always with the February 28 days, but there is a leap year which has a February 29 days. That you missed it. That bug was there already, but you missed it. That is called latent defect. Okay. So this is the latent defect means. So what is masked defect? So masked defect means, so the defect, so which is going to hide other defect. So one defect hides other defect. That is called masked defect. That is called masked defect. So because of one defect, you are not able to find out other defect. That is called mask defect. So it means there is an existing defect that is not caused for reproducing another defect. Like, you have doors, multiple doors. So all are locked. First of all, the outer door itself, you are not able to open. You cannot open inner door, right? So that is the kind of a mask defect also similar. So here is the example you can give. You create your own defects in your application. Then it will be easy. See, there is a link to add employee in the application. You clicked on that. So you can also add a task to that employee. So let's assume both functionalities have bugs. The first bug is add employee goes unnoticed. It is not working. Then once you are not able to add the employee, how can you add a task to that employee? That also has a bug. You are not able to add the task to the employee. That also another bug. Because of this add employee bug and add task is masked. So that is called masked defect. It is masking the other defect. One defect masks the other defect. That's a masked defect means. Okay. So defect leakage. So what is a defect leakage? So the defects which are unable to find during your system testing or your functional testing or UAT testing, but found them in the production environment. That is called defect leakage. So basically it is calculated. So this is the formula. This is the formula you will be asked in the interviews also. Number of defects slipped. That means by you, when you are testing, you didn't find them. That means missed defects. Number of defects received, total number of defects you found, minus number of defects withdrawn. In this total number of defects you filed, out of that, how many are not valid? How many are withdrawn? So multiply by 100 if you do, you will get a defect leakage. See, this is the example. In a production, the customer raises 21 issues. That means 21 you missed them in your testing. During your testing, you found 267 issues you reported. But there are 17 invalid defects. So invalid means there are misunderstanding of your requirements, environmental issues, and wrong test cases, wrong test data. All these are invalid defects. So then apply this. So 21. So this is the missed one is 21 divided by 267 minus 17 multiplied by 100. If you do, you will get a 84% is the defect leakage. So like this, they will give in the exams also like this, and they will ask you calculate the defect leakage. So what is a defect density? So defect density is number of defects confirmed in the software per module during a specific period of operation, and so that is called defect density. So basically, total defect count in a particular module or particular size. So basically, defect density is counted per 1,000 lines of code is 1 KLOC. So that's a defect density means. So what is a defect is the time gap between the date of detection and the date of closure. So when you open the defect and close of the defect, so between that, how many days are gap? That is called defect is we call that. So what is the showstopper or blocker defect? So a defect that doesn't permit testing to continue further. That is called a showstopper defect or a blocker defect. So that you cannot perform any action if there is a showstopper defect. So your testing is halted. That is called showstopper defect. So who can report the defects? Anybody. So testers, developers, technical support, end users, anybody who is involved in the project, sales and marketing engineers, everybody can report the defects. So that's all about the defect. So tomorrow we'll discuss severity and priority thing, and we'll continue.